All right, wonderful. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, dear parents, our students, our teachers, staff. I appreciate you are joining us tonight. This is an important meeting because we had decided that we will be in person as of April 12 and April 19. So this is the session that we wanted to have with our parents. And at the end, there will be definitely a QA session for the sanity of this meeting, to respect everyone's time. Make sure you listen everything, and at the end, during the QA session, put your questions in the chat box, please. That makes the flow easier. So this is how we can streamline this meeting. And this meeting will be recorded. Why? Because there will be some parents that may not join us tonight, but they want to still be informed. So we will share this through YouTube tonight. And then make sure, please, you keep your volume muted. And again, if you want to ask any question, pose anything, just put in the chat box. Our staff will be just putting those questions to each other, and then we will be trying to answer those accordingly. That is for the flow. And okay, and these are our administrative team: Mr. Kartal, myself, Mr. An 668, Mr. Kanal 68, School Culture, Ms. Macaulay K3, Assistant Principal of Academics, Ms. Aytekin, Assistant Principal of Academics 4th grade and 5th grade, and Ms. Kalkowski, she is our Community Outreach Coordinator. All right, what will we be discussing today? We will be introducing our plan, and we will try to clear if there's any questions in your mind. Obviously, this is a very volatile situation, very dynamic situation. There were many unknowns, and there is safety concerns. That's why our parents, you may have questions, and we have to clear those questions before we move forward. And obviously, we'll be talking about schedules, health and safety protocols. And return to in-person learning dates. So kindergarten to 5th grades will be returning in person as of Monday, April 12th. So you see, this is not right after spring break. Right after spring break, from 5th to 10, those 5 days will be utilized by our teachers. Our staff is returning to the building. So our classrooms will be ready, and they will taking care of all the logistics behind the hybrid learning, because just if you can, I'm sure you appreciate that there will be some students in the classroom and there will be some students at home, and one teacher along with the teacher assistant, they will be teaching, instructing to the both groups at the same time. That requires some detailed logistics. So that's why we wanted to allocate that first week of April, right after spring break, for our staff, so they can utilize those days to get ready. So 6th through 8th grades will return for in-person learning on Monday, April 19th. So that's a kind of phasing. So we wanted to have that kind of phases, so we can see how things going on, or we can be more ready for K5, and 6-8 can come a week later. So we can shift, if it is a need, we can shift the logistics for 6-8. And April 5th is going to be asynchronous learning. So there will be still instruction. There will be still maybe some teachers will record themselves, but that's not going to be on-time teaching on the April 5th. It is the first day that our teachers come back. So that's why, again, due to the logistics, due to this heavy logistics behind all these, so April 5th and April 12th and April 19th will be asynchronous teaching and learning. So they are still considered a school day, and our students still will be learning, but our teachers will not be online on time with the kids. 5th, 12th, and 19th. Okay. So you see all K8, April 5th, K5 only, April 12th, and 6-8 students only, April 19th. There are lots of dates, but don't worry, we will be sharing a guidebook with our parents. It will be on the website. You will see all these details on the website, okay, along with the video, tonight's video. And okay, our return to school commitments. So while we were planning this in-person teaching and learning, what were some commitments that we had to abide by? First of all, safety of students and staff. That's number one. And ensure a smooth transition. So smooth transition is like 1 week K5 starts and 6-8 the following week starts, and the teacher staff comes a week earlier so they can get ready for all these transition. So we name that as smooth transition. And obviously, we would like to maintain a high quality instruction and learning. This is as hybrid teaching and learning. Again, it requires some detailed work, but we will be able to accomplish that. And maybe you will see the quality even for remote teaching and learning. It's gonna improve. Why? Because teachers will have some group of kids, a group of kids in front of them. So that classroom dynamic, like actual classroom dynamic, will be able to accomplish in the class. So that dynamic will reflect on the kids who are at home as well. So that is what we name as high quality. Equitable. Equitable is clear, right? Equitable, meaning every child in our class, in our school, will receive the same quality of instruction and learning. So we know that we have done lots of surveys with our parents. When we have done it in January, about 30% of our parents showed interest for in-person. With the recent developments, I guess the vaccination, things are, I guess, a little bit going better. So we have around 40% of our parents showed interest in person. So they are attending in person. So 40% of our students will be in person. So there's about 10% increase actually. And we would like to provide instructional experiences that adhere to Illinois learning standards. Yes, that's always the case. And support the unique needs of students in all special populations, ELL populations, diverse learners, etc. We will continue serving our wonderful students in those needs and provide frequent communication and updates to all families. And I feel we did that, and we will continue doing so, the communication and updates. And the surveys, we shaped our structures based on the surveys, and you gave us lots of, like every week, most probably you were getting lots of surveys, feedback, and those surveys, those feedback that we were receiving from you included in these practices, included in our decision making. So overall, we try to create a system that's gonna work optimally, that's gonna work above average for all the students at home and students in school, obviously along with the staff. Having said that, let me go to the next slide. All right, I would like to give microphone to Mr. Connell. Mr. Connell will talk about some logistics here.
Thank you, Mr. Kartal. Good evening, parents. So I know a lot of you are wondering, most likely, what exactly is pickup and drop off going to look like? So first and foremost, before you even arrive at the school, you will receive a COVID screener in your email and via text to your phone numbers every morning at about 6:30. It is essential that you fill that out, and it's very simple. We'll show it in just a little bit, but that form tells us that you've checked your kid and made sure that they are not experiencing any symptoms. They don't have a fever, they don't have a cough, sore throat, whatever. This is a must for your child to be admitted into the building. So it's very quick. It'll take you about 30 seconds or less for each child. So please take a moment to have that filled out before you drop your child off at the doors in the morning. We have to be kind of a stickler about this. If your child hasn't filled that out or you haven't filled that out for your child, we'll have to take some extra time to either contact you or fill that out ourselves at the door, which will slow things down for the other students trying to enter the building. So it's necessary for us to make sure that we keep the staff safe, your children safe, you safe at home. God forbid, a student does come to the school and somehow spreads COVID to their classmates and the teachers and potentially bring it back home to you. This is just one of our ways to mitigate that potential problem. So it's essential, very, very essential that you fill that out. Furthermore, if your child is experiencing any symptoms, any flu-like symptoms, any COVID symptoms that we all become familiar with over the past 12 months, do not send your kid to school. I think we can all agree gone are the days where your kid can tough it out and just get through the day. Given this situation, given what we've been dealing with for the past year, it's essential that you work with us and you make sure if your kid is not feeling well and contagious, whether it's the flu, cold, or even, God forbid, COVID, that you keep them home and you keep the community safe. So once that screener's been cleared, your student will have their temperature checked outside. Everybody will be coming in the Altgeld doors. If you're familiar with our school, if you've been here before, if your child is a returning student, you know where those are. That's where everybody gets dropped off at the corner of Altgeld and Mango. The students will enter that door. The doors will be open starting at 8:30. The kindergarten students will go directly to their rooms and have breakfast delivered to them, so they don't have to worry about picking it up. The 1st through 8th grade students will pick up their breakfast in individually boxed portions in the cafeteria and take them up to their pod rooms. And one thing that we ask, this isn't mandatory, but it will help with the traffic flow, especially if your child is eating breakfast, that the K-3 students get dropped off between 8:30 and 8:40, and the 4th through 8th grade students get dropped off between 8:40 and 8:50. We want classes starting promptly at 9 o'clock for the kids in the building, as well as the kids who are remaining at home. So dropping your child off at 8:55 or 8:58, or even later than that, is not going to be a great idea. They're going to miss out on their first few minutes of classes. So if you can meet that window either between 8:30 and 8:40 or 8:40 and 8:50, that would be great. Moving on to the next slide. So pickup will be a little easier. Dismissal times for us every day will be 2:10 to 2:20, obviously with the exception of Wednesdays. The K-3 students will exit out doors 4 and 5. Those are along the Mango side at 2:10. And the 4-5 students will exit out through door 9. Those are the double gym doors at 2:12. And the 6-8 students will be exiting out 4 and 5 at 2:15. Any students, if your child is attending a club or tutoring in person, they will remain in their classrooms and attend their clubs virtually. And any student not picked up at 2:20 will be brought into the cafeteria to await pickup. I want to stress, please make sure you are prompt in picking up your children. We do not want to have to worry about students being left in the building an extra amount of time or any longer than they need to be. So make sure you are prompt. One additional thing, if we can go to the next slide, if you have multiple children in various grade levels, how it will work is your oldest child, say for example, you have a child in 7th grade, a child in 5th grade, and a child in 2nd grade. The 7th grader will pick up the 5th grader, and then both the 5th grader and the 7th grader will go find the 2nd grader, and they will be waiting with the youngest sibling's class for you to pick up. You do not need to get out of your car. The classes, if we can go to the next slide as well for the picture, the classes will have designated spots along Mango. So you will be able to pretty easily identify if you're parked along Mango to see where your child is. And your teacher will be able to kind of point out where you're at and guide your child to your car. So you don't need to worry about getting out of your car. We'll take care of that spot for you when with only about 192 kids, arrival and dismissal should move a lot smoother than it usually is in a typical school day when we had about 550, 570 students coming into the building and leaving. As I just mentioned, we got 192 kids coming back, which is about 35% of our student population. So the numbers that you see there are the total per grade. So each grade will have, or excuse me, each class will have about half of those numbers, more or less. Some classes, not necessarily 50%, maybe a little more. Some classes a little less, but all the classes will be 15 or less. That makes it easy to properly spread out the students, make sure they're meeting those CDC guidelines of 3 to 6 feet apart, so everybody can kind of stay safe and not have to worry about their health. Off to Ms. McCullough.
Okay. So to minimize any sort of disruption or confusion and to have really the best learning experience possible for both the students who are in person and those who have chosen to remain at home, the daily schedule is not changing. There's a few minutes that we've sort of cut off at the end of the period, but that's for teachers to transition between classes. Students are not moving, the teachers are, and so we have that little buffer there. So in essence, learning is every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8:30 to 2 p.m., 8:30 to 2:10 p.m., excuse me. And then on Wednesdays, I just want to emphasize that all students are virtual learning. That day is still an 11:15 dismissal for students. And so we will use that time to do deep cleaning in addition to the regular cleaning. And then the main office hours are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you need to contact the school any day, Monday through Friday, that's when you would do it. I know a big question was also, what does hybrid learning really look like? So I took some pictures here to demonstrate. We have Miss Cooper with a few kindergartners, and what the teachers will be doing is displaying the Zoom meeting on the smart board, which has a speaker connected to it. And then Ms. Cooper and her teaching partner would be wearing microphones. So that way all the students in the Zoom room virtually learning at home can hear their teachers, and all the students in class, as you can see that picture on the right, can see the students who are learning at home. This is something that we've tried earlier in the school year, and it worked, just a couple of practice runs, and that's what it's going to look like. And Mr. Cartel. And then I know another question you guys might have is like, how do we prepare our students for coming to the building? Just making sure that your students are, one, you filled out the screener and that they've packed their backpacks with the typical school supplies that are listed here, and making sure that they have their materials for each subject. So in math, the school is using Eureka, their reading books and things like that. Notebooks, loose leaf paper, folders, binder, etc. I would love to emphasize though that all in-person students should still bring their Chromebooks and make sure that they are fully charged. And this way, teachers can still engage and mix and mingle the students who are virtual and in person. All they have to do is, like our young student here in the picture, put their headphones on, plug in, and then they can be in a small separate breakout room with their teachers and other students. And we can still combine groups easily this way. I'd also like to say for the primary students, Chromebooks, please. I know that we have tablets, but the Chromebooks have more variety and capability of doing the assignments that they need to do. So please make sure it's the Chromebook and that it's fully charged, and that they're bringing headphones or earbuds with their names on it, or they can be in a Ziploc bag, and that Ziploc bag can have their name on it. Also, water bottles, we're not, the water fountains will not be open. We have now installed like a water bottle filling capability. So if students bring their water bottles, they can fill that up. and also extra face masks. This is especially important for the primary parents. After lunch, those masks can look really not sanitary anymore. And then last but not least, uniforms are not required for in-person learning.
I just want to pause for a second and answer some questions that we have, just so that, because we see a lot of the same questions. So in regards to the can kids bring their own lunch? Yes, but we are a nut-free school, so no nuts. Can students walk home? Yes, if you allow for your child to walk home, then yes, that is your decision. I start work at 5 a.m. and don't take a break till 9:40. Is there a way I can fill out the COVID screener a night before? Yes, we jotted that down, and we'll definitely make those changes if need be. Are kids supposed to wear uniforms? No, Ms. McCauley just mentioned that. And would they need to bring their own headphones, or one will be provided? We would love for your child to bring your own headphones, just so that we do not share. However, if they, we will provide one if needed. But yes, if they have one at home, please bring it.
I'm going to interject. We have earbuds, and for the little ones, that's a little bit harder. So we have earbuds to share or to give, but not headphones.
Okay. Anything else, Sanasik? Good. All right, buses and aftercare. That was also a question. Are we providing buses? Not this year. So from April to June, we will not be able to provide transportation. And you might ask why. We worked on the logistics and we decided that safely we won't be able to provide this transportation from April, because that was going to add another layer of logistics. So that's why we just kind of stopped providing that services, unfortunately. I know we had done a survey at the beginning, and when we just compared our numbers, we thought that even if we do not provide the transportation, our students, 99% of our students will be able to, deliver to the school by their parents or their guardians. And aftercare, there will be no aftercare provided by the school. Same reasons. Okay, Kanal.
So a couple of things that we want to make sure you guys understand, especially so these can be conveyed to the students before they come into the building in April. One of the things that we're going to do to make sure that the students are safe in the building is we're going to be implementing learning pods. If you're a K-3 student and parent, this doesn't really change much for you because your classes are self-contained anyway, but they will not be traveling throughout the building. So they won't be going to their specials classes and their specials teachers' rooms. They won't be moving around the building if they're in 4, 5, or 6, 8 from teacher to teacher. They'll be in their homeroom classes and their homeroom classes only throughout the day, with a few exceptions. Instead, the teachers will be the ones that will be moving from class to class. This is obviously to kind of limit the many vectors of having 192 kids move about the building. Now we're only going to be having a couple dozen adults moving around the building, which obviously makes things a lot safer. For face coverings, it's essential that your child have the proper face coverings. If you want to have them wear the N95 masks, those are obviously the gold standard that is going around. However, if you have a double layered cloth mask, that is acceptable. But regardless of what they're wearing, and I'll talk about a few things that they shouldn't be wearing as face masks, it's essential that they keep them on at all times, with the exception of like eating or drinking during lunchtime, or if they're taking a sip out of their water bottle. We'll be very, very strict with that. If your child has an issue following any of these safety protocols, we'll definitely be having a conversation with you and about how things will move forward with your child's learning. As far as things that they cannot wear, as far as face coverings go, you know, the gator masks aren't allowed, or a scarf or anything that's a single layer. That's not going to work. We need to make sure that, you know, what they're wearing, as we all know, masks are one of the main deterrents for this pandemic. So it's essential for us to make sure we do that. There will be plenty of hygiene stations around the building. We've installed dispensers, you know, next to every classroom. The teachers will have Lysol wipes, Lysol spray, all the things that they need to make sure that the room is disinfected. On Wednesdays, when we have our distance learning day, the building will be deep cleaned to make sure that when they come back on Thursday, the building is spick and span. We'll be following the social distance guidelines from the CDC. All students and teachers and staff will have to be 3 to 6 feet apart. So that'll include traveling in the building, entering a classroom, leaving a classroom, things like that. Obviously, we've talked about the self-certification that you guys will be doing before they arrive at school. We'll be doing symptom screening. So if your child is exhibiting any kind of symptoms after they arrive at school, they will be removed from the classroom and placed in our safety room. And we will take their temperature, try to confirm any of these symptoms. And if we do have anything to be worried about, we will give you a call. And then, of course, if we have to follow through with any symptomatic students, we'll ask you to get them tested. We'll do the contact tracing and figure out where that student was, who they were in contact with for 10 or more minutes, or 10 to 15 or more minutes at a time indoors, and follow up with those necessary individuals if we need to. And hopefully we don't have to worry about that particular issue, but we will be ready just in case that issue arises.
All right. So this is kind of like a bit of like illustration what Mr. Khan actually talked about. Building entry process, we talked about that, right? Staff and students will be screened, physical guides, markers, staff monitoring, it will be done. Staff building inspections, we already completed our HVAC systems. We got the like fully functioning, fully filtered and everything. We changed all the filtering systems. And the good thing is our building has the windows based on the CDC guidelines. Our teachers will be keeping the windows a little bit open. So we get some fresh air. And preventative maintenance, besides the Wednesday deep cleaning, every day, like 3 times, the doorknobs, like everything, the bathrooms, the water bottle filling stations, everything is going to be cleaned, deep cleaned, inspected, everything. So we should not be worried about that piece. And we updated all the bathrooms, like touchless faucets, touchless urinals. They're all updated. It's going to be full functioning as of April 5th. So we should not be worried about that. Actually, we have been working on those a couple of months already. And the classroom layouts, social distancing, yes, definitely 6 feet, 3 to 6 feet. And depending on the number of students in each class, maximum, I think the number of students in maximum is in kindergarten, I guess maybe 14 to 15 kids in each class. And based on our measurements, like even if we just stick with the 6 feet distancing, although CDC said it can be 3 to 6, if we stick with 6 feet distancing, we will be able to put even 20 chairs, 20 desks with proper 6 feet distancing. But obviously, based on our numbers, we didn't have to put 20, but it's going to be maximum 15 kids, 15 desks. And the upper grades, it's going to be even lower. Cleaning, disinfecting, we said that. Food service, again, grab and go style, individually packaged. And lunch will be delivered to their homerooms, their pots, and the hallways, traffic flow, the stairs, one way, the dream stairways going up, the other stairways going down. All the hallways will be marked already, and we will be able to mitigate that risk. And lockers, unfortunately, no lockers usage this year. Students have to bring their own things, put them in their bags. and use it there, etc. Outdoor spaces, playground will be utilized. We will put some signs. It's going to be disinfected, and our K3 or K4 teachers, they will work on a schedule and they will use it, and they will make sure every time it is used properly, it will be properly disinfected as well. And the restrooms, same thing. I talked about that. Shared equipment, supplies, and clothing. Yes, definitely no sharing of school supplies. That's why Ms. Macaulay's slide, you saw we are asking you to bring your child's headphones, earbuds, so that doesn't have to be shared. Like, you know, we have headphones in the school, but that also increases the risk of, you know, virus. Signage everywhere, informative signages, and water fountains. Yes, water fountains will be closed. Water bottles are recommended. And if your child doesn't have a water bottle, we will have water bottles for them. Okay. All right. And question and answer. Just before going to the question and answer session, we will be sharing all of these documentation. We have let me show you the parent guidebook that we have. Where's that? So Ms. Kalkowski will be sharing this document with you today, actually. So it talks about all these details even more. And it's like 7-page plan, all these details. So you will also receive this document.
Mr. Cartel, could you also jump to the screener really quickly? We had some questions about that.
That's on slide 7.
Slide 7.
Yes, sir.
Is it just hold on? Okay. Yes.
So I think all that's required is your email address, your name, your child's name, and then you click yes or no if they've, and their class. And then you click yes or no if they're experiencing any of the listed symptoms, and it must be filled out for each one of your children.
Yeah.
Okay, but it should only take a minute to do, and it's due before the children come to the building.
Self-certification. Okay.
All right, there's some questions that I've been recording since the last time that I answered. So I'll go ahead and run through them, and one member from the administration team can answer it. Can a child decide to do remote learning if they can't make it into the school? Absolutely. If they can't make it for whatever reason, then opting into remote learning for the day will not be considered an absence. Okay, so yes, if they can't make it in person, to join in remotely from home. Will the students be able to utilize their lockers, or will they be required to bring their items into the classroom? We are not using any lockers for the remainder of the school year. Can they bring their own hand sanitizer for their desk? Absolutely. Can we donate disinfectant spray and other items for the class? Absolutely, sure. Are they going to have gym classes? Are they going to play outside? Yes, if weather permits. Our PE classes are going to be intentionally outside. Also, teachers may have breaks within the school day to take their students outside for that break. Can parents donate cases of water? Yes, yes, yes. If you would like to, absolutely. How will we know how many students will be in a class? Your designated, you can reach out to your designated administrator, but we do have some details pertaining to that. Mr. Connell, do you have the numbers specifically? Or
Not yet, I'll work on that.
I mean, we can sort of share them. The maximum in one class is 14 and the lowest is like 7. No.
Yeah,
maybe
we don't.
7. 9. No, wait.
I think the
there's-
largest class that we have is 16. That's, I think, either a 6th or an 8th grade class, but we're purposely using larger classrooms, physically the larger classroom, to have more space in between the students and the teachers.
Yeah.
Will students be leaving their books at home or school? Will they be bringing the Chromebook home and back to school as well? Yes.
Yes.
Every day we do not have enough Chromebooks to allow you to have one at home and to give to the students in the school building. So all students that are opting into in-person must make sure that those Chromebooks are charged when they get home, so that when they come back into the building, it is fully charged. If the Chromebook is fully charged and they come into the school building, it will last for a school day. So please make sure that the Chromebooks are fully charged. In regards to their books, depending on what books they are, if they are like math workbooks, Eureka workbooks that they complete work in, those are workbooks that are probably going to go back and forth because they have homework to work on them from. The teachers may have specific books that they want to leave in the classroom. Again, that's going to be very specific according to what the teacher and the class needs are. That's it for now. I don't know if there were any questions.
Yeah, there are some questions asking if your child was confirmed for in-person learning. If you received an email with this link, then your child was confirmed for in-person learning. Ms. Kolkowski will send another email at the, by tomorrow, again, reconfirming that your child is there for in-person learning. If you decide, maybe in-person learning is not going to be you're not able to go through with it, please email your admin stating as such so that we can take your child off of that roster.
And please, just a side note, make sure and check your promotion tab or your spam tab on your email to make sure that any of those emails are not going there. And also, I know some phone services will block our text messaging. So also maybe check with your phone provider and make sure that you're receiving all of our school text messages, just to make sure you're getting all of the information. And if you're not sure, feel free to reach out to me.
And one last add-on, when you're communicating with your administrator or anybody at the school, I know we know a lot of you guys first name basis, and we've seen a lot of you guys for many years, but sometimes your child's name is not right there. So just include your child's name and if possible, their room number, okay?
We have any more questions?
We had a question, will students bring their own laptop or will there be an extra on at school for them? So we want the students to use the Chromebooks that we assigned because we have designated apps, and where teachers are allowed to see them via GoGuardian to ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to. If they never received a Chromebook from us, we will supply one for them. So do not bring your own personal laptop. If you don't have a Chromebook, we'll give you one. What other questions?
And then, Connell, can you answer about the contact tracing? What happens if there's a case in a classroom?
Yeah, we'll be following the CDC guidelines with the circumstances, and so it'll depend on those individual circumstances, where that student has been, who they've been in contact with. Quarantining a classroom for 10 to 14 days is kind of the worst case scenario. So hopefully no situation like that does occur, but that is a potential risk that may happen if we do have a positive case with a student, and depending on the circumstances, that may take down an entire section or entire pod for an extended period of time, and they'd have to continue their learning remotely, as with whoever came in contact with them.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Hasek?
We had a question, when will this school year end? For kindergarten and 8th grade, their last day is on graduation day. So that's June 4th on a Friday. For 1st grade through 7th grade, that is Friday, June 11th. Now this year might look a little different because of testing. So we may actually push testing into June, but again, things are still being ironed out, so we will definitely keep you guys in the loop once we have all the details possible. We also had a question, if my student doesn't make it to in-person and does remote learning, will I be notified that she didn't go to school? Well, if she's absent, we notify parents that day. So if they're absent in person and they're not attending remote, you will receive a notification that day if your child was absent. Now, if you have any question marks, you can always call us at the school and we can give you more information pertaining to that. Where will they store their headphones that they bring from home? Each teacher, each homeroom will have a set guideline on where things will be stored. So we have Ziploc bags, we have things that we're going to actually seal these items just so that we can avoid the spread of germs.
I put in the chat that they can take them home each day with their Chromebook.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
fine too. Will the children have dividers between the desks? No, but we are spacing them out according to the CDC guidelines. Can our children take their own lunches? Yes, they can bring their own lunches. Is there anything student can't wear? We're following the dress down code, the one that we have in the student handbook. So if you refer to that, you can refer to the do's and don'ts.
To add on to that, it's make sure your child's wearing school appropriate clothing. So no like midriff showing, no tank tops. You know, they got sleeves. They're not wearing ripped pants that show all kinds of thighs and knees and ankles and stuff like that. You know, you want to make sure that your kid is coming to school presentable for the school. So you use your best judgment. There shouldn't be any kind of profanity or lewd comments on the t-shirts or clothing that they wear or anything that would be considered offensive. So just make sure the kids look like they should look when they go to school.
So there was also a question regarding some summer sessions. We are in the process of discussing that as an administration team, but however, nothing is set in stone yet. So more information about that after spring break.
The link will be emailed the question is, what link do we go to for the screener? That will be texted every morning, that link, okay? Because what that does is it takes all of your information and puts it in a spreadsheet so that we can check by homeroom who's filled out the screener that day. There's another question about not bringing your personal Chromebook. No, if your child did not pick up a school issued Chromebook, then they will be assigned one when they come to the building, and then that one can stay in the building. And then when they go, that will be their Chromebook whenever they are in person.
I'm also getting some private messages pertaining to my child is new. Will they be able to get the help that they need? They're nervous. You know, we get it, especially for the little ones, kindergarten babies, but also students that are brand new to HSA Belmont in person. One thing that we iterated in the beginning of the PowerPoint is for K through 5th grade, the first day is Monday, April 12th. And for middle school, it's Monday, April 19th. Those days are intentionally asynchronous for remote students so that the teachers can build those relationships, go over routines, procedures with the in-person students so that we can help alleviate some of those, you know, first day jitters, okay? So that's one way that we're trying to just promote a better welcome for our school community. In regards to, there was a question about COVID-19 tests required. Mr. Connolly, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
You caught me at a disadvantage. I was actually answering somebody else's question. What was your question, Mr. Ansick?
The question was about COVID-19 testing. When will it happen? Would it be needed? When will it be needed?
Well, the school is not performing any type of COVID testing. If you feel like your child or your family has been exposed to a positive case, you can get tested and keep us in the loop. If for some reason your child is symptomatic in the building and we ask you to get tested, then it will be required that you provide a test result to us to let us know if your child is positive or negative. Obviously, if they're negative, they're good to go. If they're positive, then we have a whole nother set of issues to deal with and figure out who they were in contact with. And we have to call a lot of people and inform them.
There are a few questions about the first day again, and I just want to reiterate, April 5th is all asynchronous. So no students will be in the building that week at all. You will all learn online April 5th through the 9th, but April 5th will be asynchronous. There will be no Zoom classes on April 5th. There may be Zoom assignments. So please make sure that your child logs in April 5th to see what's expected of them. Then the 6th through the 9th, they will be Zoom classes as usual. April 12th, there will be no Zoom classes for K-5, but there will be Zoom classes for 6-8. And then the rest of the week is back to normal. Your child can come to the building K-5 beginning April 12th. And if they're middle school, 6 or 8, they can come to the building beginning April 19th. So we're still a ways away from this. So we can make sure that the building is ready. Our safety protocols are in place. Teachers are prepared. So there's still time. And if you think of any questions after this, please feel free to reach out and email one of the admin.
Okay. There are some more questions, but Mr. Hansen, you were following these questions, right?
Yeah,
You
I
don't
think
wanna miss
we're
any.
good. I did a
we're
run
caught up.
through. I think we're good. I think we're
Maybe
good.
this one, are you requiring children to be vaccinated in the fall? No, there's no such thing. Yeah, there's no such thing so far.
Well, the current guidelines right now is nobody under 16 is getting vaccinated. That may be different come the fall. That depends on a lot of factors that are well outside our control. So that's TBD. But we'll know more when the public guidelines or the public health guidelines set by the state, they update them, every couple of weeks, even shorter than that.
Okay. And people are asking about run a text test.
Yes, I can run a text
Yes.
test tomorrow, and we can figure out, and then I'll also send an email along with that, so you can kind of know if you're getting the text or not, because unfortunately the text you can't respond to it. I won't know if you're getting it. So I will send an email letting everyone know when I'm going to send out that text. And if you don't receive the text, then you can email me and let me know.
Mm-hmm. And maybe one last question there. Are all the teachers and staff vaccinated? I can say over 75%, Mr. Cowell, you have the data. Yeah, or more, maybe 85, 90. Most of them got their first shots. Yeah, you know that Illinois, Cook County, actually, they were prioritizing the educators. We got our first shots. I'm getting my second shot like April 3rd. Most of our teachers got their first and second shots. So yes, but it's a process, definitely. It's happening there. So the answer to your question, not 100% yet, but hopefully will be. And looks like this was a productive meeting. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, dear teachers, dear parents, as you feel, we tried to answer all of these questions, possible questions. What we trust is we trust you, we trust our students, we trust our team. I feel overall by the experience of the other schools, other districts that they opened before us, we utilize their experience and we talk to them. We work like what worked for them and what didn't. We try to create a high quality and equitable teaching and learning environment with this reopening. And we will continue doing so, hopefully with your understanding, with your cooperation, with our lovely students' cooperation, we will be able to accomplish, again, great results. This is not easy. This is definitely a different water now. The hybrid model is a different ocean for us that we are required to swim. There can be some waves. There can be some, I feel that there will be not huge storms, but at the end, we will be able to reach to the other side of the ocean by swimming together. That is what I can say overall. Otherwise, thank you very much. And please take care of yourselves and each other.